Good evening, African Superstar family. What's up? What's up, guys? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African Superstar, back at it again with a live stream for you guys. I want to start out by saying thank you to all the customers at africansuperstar.com. Those of you guys shopping with us, those of you that have been shopping with us for over 3 good years. No complaints, great quality products. I appreciate all the support from the family. Also, big shout outs to those of you that support our platform on a monthly basis, part of our members only, and get behind the scenes exclusive content. Big shout outs to you guys. And last but not least, the lovers of the African Superstar Music Project. Let's go ahead and roll one of our clips. Yes, so that you can learn about my music if you don't know about my music. Hello.
Did you know I was a rapper?
Come chill with me. Look in my eyes and tell me what you see. Together
This is one of my tracks.
are free.
Come chill with me.
VIP,
Available for
it's a
download,
lifestyle.
and the official
I love
music
the way
video
when we
is on
kiss, you
YouTube.
smile. I make you laugh. Carefree.
This
Come
track can be
chill
purchased along with all
me.
others on
The beat
bandcamp.com.
drops. It's so hot. Another weekend together. Simply, there's nothing better. My dress shiny, makeup on fleek. It's just you and me.
Yes, that is one of my popular tracks, Come Chill With Me. That is also on my recent EP, For Every Action There's a Reaction, which is available exclusively for purchase at bandcamp.com. However, you can find Come Chill With Me on all the streaming sites. So Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, Deezer, Spotify, whatever you're using. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Who's here in the building first? Yes. Please make sure you like the stream because I'm going to get into this topic tonight. What's up, Andrew? It's been a minute. How are you? Good to see you. Black Beauty always in the building. What's up, Just One Nita? Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Please make sure that you like the stream and greet me if you want to be recognized. I go do the shout outs. Today, I want to talk about Africans must create their place of refuge or have nada, zero, none, nothing. You know, in so many ways, we have had the continent by default. Okay, we have had the continent because we have not seen a large movement from the international community trying to like encroach. Obviously, we have groups that are doing, things, doing mining, doing some minor business prospects and all this kind of stuff. But we haven't seen the influx that perhaps those of us, for instance, living in Ghana are now seeing, where so many foreigners are coming to the continent and trying to get their position. The harsh reality that African people need to accept and come to the reality is that for us to have refuge, we will have to put forth some effort to have that refuge. Okay, nobody's going to respect our request to have our one corner of the earth. Okay, to have our resources, to have our culture, to have our traditions. I don't know what it is about our people that doesn't understand that self-preservation is something that has to be pursued. You have to make the conscious decision that I'm going to live, I'm going to survive, I'm going to preface my own people, I'm going to live in my homeland, I'm going to spend my dollars with other diasporan businesses, continental Africans, Black people globally, whatever. Okay, all of these decisions must be conscious. All of these decisions must be deliberate. And what is at stake here right now, as I talk about on the channel quite frequently, is us losing our place of refuge. You see, because if we don't position ourselves well, if we don't actually take action and take immediate and strategic action, that's what we're up for. It's very simple. We also have to understand that in large part, although there are some people that are developing the continent for the continent's sake, for the local people and things like that, I'd say the vast majority of people that are developing the continent are doing it with their own interests. Which means when the Chinese are putting in infrastructure, they're building it for Chinese people. They're building it for the future of their people, their future wealth. Okay, they're not building it to make life more convenient for the Kenyan or for the, the Ghanaian or for the Nigerian or whomever. Okay, they're building it with their own interests. Same way Europeans, same way Lebanese. These people will build exclusive communities for them, resources for them. The only thing that they're building that encompasses us is businesses so that they can siphon our money to fund their lifestyle. We very well can have our own utopia here on the continent. We should. It's our homeland. You look at the Saudis. The Saudi folks have built their nation to be comfortable for them, to observe their religion and their traditions and their way of life. Same thing with Dubai, same thing with Korea, same thing with, Vietnam. These countries realize that they will be a foreigner in other lands. Okay. They will never have the home, the home court advantage that you get when you're in your home court. Shout outs to the family. Any of you guys formerly play any sports? If you've ever been an athlete, let me see a number one in the chat room. What's up, family? How are you guys doing tonight? Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, or early evening for some of you, depending on where you are. Hello. Anybody, any athletes in the room, any former athletes in the room? You know about the home court advantage, okay? And what that basically means is you're going to get the camaraderie of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You're in your stadium where you're familiar with, or you're in your, track field or football pitch or wherever you're playing. And it provides you comfort. It provides you morale. It provides you confidence. And that's what the hometown advantage is. I went to the University of Cincinnati. Shout out to any Bearcats. I know some of my, classmates and stuff watch my channel. Big shout outs to any Bearcats in the room or any that will see the playback. I remember going to some of the basketball games. You know what I'm saying? I was at the University of Cincinnati from 2001 up until, I was on the yard for a minute. I didn't move away from Cincinnati until 2011. I believe 2011. I moved back to Columbus from Cincinnati. And, as a student at the University of Cincinnati back then, you could actually get free basketball tickets to see the Bearcats play. And we had a pretty good team. They were really competitive and did really well in their, competitions and all that. And I remember I'm not even a sportsman, okay? I don't watch any sports now. I don't follow sports. I don't have a favorite team. Literally, those were some of the only sporting events I went to were at the University of Cincinnati because my friends were going. We had free tickets. And when I tell you the student section at the basketball for University of Cincinnati was so entirely lit. Like, it was so lit that someone like myself, who's not even a sports person, couldn't even tell you what was happening on the basketball court, would want to be there. The crowd would be electric. We have the home court advantage in our nations, okay? And we need to protect that advantage because in every other place that we go, every other nation that we go, outside of this continent, and even unfortunately in some of these African countries, there is xenophobia, there is tribalism, there is racial intolerance and things like that. It's rare on the continent, but it does exist. That's just the truth. A Ghanaian will have the most comfort and familiarity in Ghana. A Nigerian will have the most comfort and familiarity in Nigeria. One of the things I love about Ghana, for instance, is, the food everywhere, being able to get my hair done, being able to go places and hear the kind of music I like, being a part of the all Black majority, you know what I'm saying? Like the safety. I love wearing kente cloth, all the things, many, many things that I enjoy about my life here in Ghana are here in Ghana. When I lived in the UK, I couldn't have access to Ghana food all the time. You know, I would have to travel around to different restaurants and spend a lot of money. And even then, the food is not maybe the best. It's not fresh or whatever. You know, certainly didn't have the option to have this beautiful sunshine every day. Didn't have the option to live in a Black majority. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have the option for the social life that I get here in Ghana. I appreciate the home court advantage of living in Ghana. But I realize that we got to preserve our refuge. We have to improve and enhance our, you know, refuge to what we want it to be. You know, simply hoping is not going to get it. Simply critiquing others' efforts. Literally right now, we have millions of Africans globally, worldwide, both on this continent and in the international community. Millions. Millions. But when we look at the percentage of the diaspora, you know, both the American, British, you know, European diaspora, and then the direct African diaspora, I mean, our presence on the continent is very laughable. Our contributions to the continent are very laughable. You know, we could provide ourselves a lot of the comfort. And I also want to state this for the record, because one of the go-to excuses that many, you know, continentals have or whatever is our leaders. Our leaders, our leaders, our leaders, our government, you know, is not doing this and that. I would say that if you want to enterprise on this continent, you should not be worried about what the government is doing. Seriously, you should be working on what you can do. You know, if there's loopholes that you can kind of wiggle in and get position, do it. You know, you may have the home court advantage. Use it to your benefit. You know, like Jay-Z says, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. I got rich and gave back, and that's the win-win. We can't be concerned with all the semantics of life and some of the dynamics that are happening here on the continent. As we are coming back, one of our primary concerns should be getting a foothold in this continent. If we as diasporans are concerned about continental Africans, then we need to get in a position where we can help continental Africans, or provide employment, or provide education, or whatever. Okay, because if we're going to rely on A, the foreigners to do it, well, we know how that's going to work out. B, the government, well, again. C, the greater good, karma, and all this stuff. The job's not going to get done. Job's only going to get done if somebody decides to do it. You know, and again, logically looking at it, okay, because some of you diasporans, the head is thick and you don't understand. Gina, they shouldn't do this. They shouldn't sell lands. They shouldn't give these people an opportunity. Inasmuch they shouldn't. But it's difficult to contend with them when they are, in effect, bringing amenities, bringing conveniences, bringing employment, bringing capital to the continent. Why would someone look at this person and say, oh, wow, this person is bringing, you know, a development to undeveloped area. They're putting in roads, they're putting in infrastructure, they're putting in shops, they're putting in, you know, restaurants or nightclubs. This is going to create employment. This is going to create, you know, money in the economy, jobs, and blah, blah, blah. You want them solely off the premise of your heritage and your appearance and all that stuff. You want them to reject these other people and then preserve it for you, but you're not even putting in any type of bid, any type of competition. You know, if you could contend, if you could say, hey, look, you need to go with me. You know what I'm saying? I know they're offering you a grocery store, but I can offer you 3 locations. You know, and I got you a nice gift from America. Huh? Brought you a nice perfume, brought you a watch. You know, thanks for having this meeting with me. You know, come over and, you know, my wife will cook for you. Hello? Bartering, gifts, and bribery is a part of getting the job done historically forever. Yes, it is. Some of you guys got a big issue with corruption and You know, you don't have a problem with lobbying, which is the Western term of bribery. You don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to the continent, you have a problem with it. It's very simple. When you want something, you know, in this world, 9 times out of 10 situations are going to be transactional. I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all that. Okay. And if you're honest with yourself, if you honest even with yourself, whatever you do, you always want a return on it. Yes, you do. Okay. You go to work, you put in your time, some, you know, in many cases, decades of your life, you want a paycheck, you want retirement. Okay. You want a holiday time. You know, you want stock options. Okay. When you're looking for a partner, you want something from the partner. You know, we like to disillusion ourselves and make it seem like, no, Gina, I'm just doing this for the greater good. Stop lying to yourself. If you're trying to do stuff here on the continent, you're trying to start business, make it appetizing for the parties involved, because everybody want to win. Everybody wants something out the deal. Nobody wants to do stuff free. Nobody wants to be on a one-sided relationship. Even you don't want those things. Ask yourself if whatever you're presenting to someone, would it be something that you want? If the tables were turned and someone was offering you the same exact package, would you take it? Now, those of you guys that are honest, you know, if somebody came to you and said, hey, look, I want you to do this and this for me. This is what I'm willing to do for you. Here's some gifts. Here's a little bit of, you know, love offering. I got you a really, you know, nice perfume, watch, whatever. You know, got you tickets to your favorite basketball game, favorite team. You know, you would like that. You would like the French benefits, and you would think to yourself, okay, yeah, all right. If 2 parties came to you and presented a proposal, you know, of something that they wanted to do, one person is going above and beyond. The other person is doing the bare minimum. When you sit down and make that decision of who you want to give the contract, who you want to do business with, who you want to select for the opportunity, 9 times out of 10, if you guys were honest, some of y'all ain't honest. And I know that you got to come to my channel to get a breath of truth and honesty, because you struggle to be honest with yourself. But in reality, the person who's doing more, the person who's gone above and beyond, is going to be the one that gets the attention. This is no different than, like, for instance, when you go for a job interview. Okay, you dress up for the job interview, you make sure you have your CV, your resumes there, you know, you do a little research on the company so you can tell them facts and figures. Oh, I know that in, you know, 1995 you guys had this merger, and last year you made $5 million of profit a quarter, and you want to give yourself the leg up over the competition. We struggle with the concept when we translate it into this continent. Okay, the home court advantage that you have is race is not necessarily going to be a hindrance for you here, which means that if you position yourself certain places, however you may do that, you can get the guaranteed outcome. Yes, you can. Africans must create their place of refuge. They must protect their place of refuge or have nothing. That's it. It's simple. We are foreigners in all other lands. Even when we are born and raised in these other lands, they are still reminding us that that is not our homeland. That is not our origin. You have generations of Black Americans, Black British, you know, Black Australians, and all this stuff that are constantly being reminded, you are not indigenous to these lands. This is not your homeland. They've been in them lands so much that they don't even know their roots to wherever else they may be connected. They don't even know. But guess what? They're still not British. They're still not American. You know, there's always that line of demarcation. And our laziness, you know, our procrastination is going to cost. Now, I can't group myself in with y'all because I'm working avidly to ensure my place of refuge. You know, my land, my corner, my comfort zone. You know what I mean? I know that I needs to put my foot down and make my stake in the soil if I want it, because nobody's going to give it to me and nobody's going to make provision for me. Guys, use common sense. Okay? If there was a place of refuge for Black people that these foreigners created in these foreign countries, where is it? Where's the place for refuge for the, the Black British? Where's there one, city, town where it's all for them, it's all their corner? Hello. Black Americans don't even have their own designated state or anything like that after 500 years. So now that, again, in my opinion, Africa has been the place of refuge by default. Okay. It's not been the place of refuge because we've consciously chosen to preserve our homeland. When nobody was prompting us to do it, we weren't doing it. Okay. Before Year of Return, before we saw Steve Harvey come in and, Stevie Wonder talking about how he wants to come there, and before Year of Return and before all this stuff, before Afrochella, the diaspora was slack when it came to the continent. I count and cite Akon. Akon is a lovely example of what the diaspora should have been doing. And what had they been doing it, the benefits of it. You know what I mean? Akon went to America, grew in America, lived in America, became a music star, famous producer, made a lot of money, had a lot of hit songs and all that. When he got his profits, he went right back to Senegal, his homeland, and is still enterprising in Senegal, still solving problems, brought solar power to many villages, not just in Senegal, but all across the region. One man. We have loads of rich, professionals, African diaspora, that have firsthand experience with some of these industries in the West. Why they couldn't duplicate it, I don't know. Earning potential way higher here on the continent. You provide certain services here, you're not going to have any competition at all. I remember I ran into one of the African Superstar family members. I believe that was last autumn on an airplane. I believe I was, I can't remember if I was coming or going, but it was at the Accra airport. I ran into one of our family members from California. He told me he was bringing paragliding here to Ghana. Second trivia question. How many paragliding companies do you think is here in Ghana? Give me a figure. I'm coming through. What's up, guys? How many paragliding companies are here in Ghana right now? Okay. He likes paragliding. He's gone and done it in several other locations. Obviously, there's some mountains here in Ghana. There's some, tall hills and cliffs and that kind of thing where these paraglider people go up and they fly down. They have the little wings that they put on and all this kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, wow, that's what you want to call market dominance. When you set up business and guess what? There's no competition. So by default, that's actually what the foreigners have been doing here in Ghana for decades. Because since the diaspora refused to do for themselves, hello, and I know that continentals, a lot of them, they may not have the capital to get stuff started and blah, blah. I'm talking about the diaspora. I'm talking about y'all. I, for the life of me, don't understand why you don't want to bring the conveniences to your local environment. That's what I don't get. So since the diaspora doesn't want to do it, the Lebanese decide to do it. The Indians decide to do it. The Chinese decide to do it. And guess what? They make a killing. They make an absolute killing. Brand new pizza shop. Everybody want to go there. Brand new, shopping. Everybody wants to go there. The hot new community. Everybody wants to buy a house there. Once you get stuff up and running, the people are going to come. The business is going to come. Big shout out to African Superstar family. Africans must create their own refuge. What's up, family? If you are here in the building, don't be shy. What's up, King Kenyatta? I see you in the building. All right, let's go back to the top. Andrew, Black Beauty always, Just Juanita. What's up? What's up? What's up? Willie Tab says, I just watched a video on YouTube. The USA economy is at a crossroad. 186 banks are at risk of going bankrupt. What I want to say, you know, I don't have a lot of money in the US account, but I tell you what, I done moved it out. I done moved it right on out. But I would say, you know, apparently if you have less than 250,000, the FDIC is supposed to protect that. I don't know if they really can in the event of an emergency because they always lie to us. I would say if you have lots of money and you're trying to liquidate it, go ahead and get your Africa plan popping. Hello. Go ahead and funnel that money into assets, something tangible. You know, go ahead and convert it into gold or, you know, something like that. Because if the currency, you know, obviously the currency fluctuates or loses value, you're going to lose that value. Okay, so again, I'm always promoting you guys. Take a look around. Take a look at me now. Take a look and see what's going on. And be wise and start making strategic decisions so that when everything hits the fan, you're not going to be a victim. Because nobody ever complains about being prepared. People complain about not being prepared. People complain about, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't take action. You know, and even if you are on the side of caution and you're wrong, you never regret being prepared. You never regret being prepared. I was concerned about living in the West many years ago. Okay. I made my exit way before it got to the extent that it is today. I don't regret doing that. I actually wish I had done it sooner. I actually wish, you know, in my early 20s, I had started my plans here and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is, you will never regret being ready. I tell y'all now, if you buy lands here in Ghana, you're not going to regret it when it goes up 4 or 5 times. You're not going to regret that. You're going to be happy that you bought it at a reasonable price. But those of you guys that are dragging your feet, by the time you position yourself, by the time you make a decision, you will regret it. You'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, I could have got this, you know, 3 years ago at a different price. The investor's dream is to buy low and sell high. That's what all investors want to do. If you're smart, you recognize that that's the period that we are in on this continent right now, is the opportunity to buy low and potentially sell high or get a return on your investment or whatever, you know, create generational wealth. As the price goes up, it gets harder and harder for the average guy or girl to get into the market. Big shout outs to Willie. Make sure you guys hit the likes. What's up, family? Please make sure you hit the likes. You can support the stream. Leave your comments. I'm coming through. First trivia question. Do we have any former athletes in the room? That was the first trivia question. Okay. That was a number 1. Because I talked about the home court advantage. I talked about when you are on your home court, you're in your home basketball court, the football pitch, you know, the whatever, the track, you know, you're in your home place and that gives you an advantage. That gives you the vim to go further. You know, I definitely feel like being in Ghana is like the best place for me in regards to my music, in regards to my media, you know, in regards to just my overall lifestyle. This is the best place for me to be doing what I do. Any other place, I'm severely challenged because of various things, you know, and we have that currently here. But again, if we don't preserve that, we will lose that. What's up, S.A. Smith in the building? Yes. Just Juanita says, by human nature, we do things from our self-interest, and by doing so, it benefits other people. If I build a hotel out of my self-interest of making a profit, it benefits others by creating jobs. Absolutely. Absolutely. And guess what? As one person does this and the other person does that, so let's just say we have 10 people in the chat that are interested in their enterprise. Just Juanita does the hotel. All right. Let's say King Kenyatta, he does the restaurant. All right. Let's say Time with Hetty, she does the school. Okay. We have some medical professionals in the building. So then we have somebody set up, the clinic or the pharmacy. Everybody's doing what they have an expertise in doing or whatever. But by doing that, we create a community. We create a monopoly. Okay. We create a presence. There are some idiots that come to the channel and all they can focus on is what is wrong and the deficits, and they don't have this and they don't have that. That's all they focus on. And they don't realize that by you taking that step, you doing your part, okay, contributes to the big picture. And quite frankly, we could have 500 people here that do nothing, and we could have 25 that do something. What's more valuable? What's more valuable? The 25 that's going to come here and be on task, start business, get it popping, or the 500 that just do nothing? Which means for less volume, higher quality. That's why I tell the diaspora, you know what, for us to have a presence here, we don't even need millions, and we don't even need all that. We don't. All we need to do is get it popping. Just the 25 can get the job done in the example I just gave. Because them 25 is going to come and be about that life. I often reflect on, those that I am affiliated with here on the continent, some extremely high quality people. A lot of them come from the diaspora. And I mean, they are just amazingly dynamic people. And I think to myself, wow, they really they equate to hundreds of people because they're trustworthy and they're nice and they're loving and they're reciprocal and they are thoughtful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just amazing. And I'm like, wow. And it's no surprise that many of the diasporans that are here are making major moves. Like, they're doing big stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're meeting with the government and they're meeting with the chiefs and they're creating services and they're doing businesses and they're starting families. And I mean, they're just like the man or the woman because they equate to so many people because they are high quality people. Again, this message doesn't go out to all of you. Okay. There are some of you that are stupid and you're going to come here and be like, well, we can't all. Obviously, this message is not for you. Hello. If you start the sentence with Gina, it can't. Okay, it's not for you. It's not for you. It's for the people that understand the message. People that's like, yeah, you're right, Gina. I need to make my move. Shout outs to the African Superstar family. There are a lot of you guys. Some of you reached out to me about the land offer. If you're interested in the land here, the land that's at Shy Hills, I've done a couple videos there so far. Send me an email, africansuperstar@gmail.com. It's scrolling across the screen. There have been, literally on my channel for the past month, I have had over, I believe it's over 100,000 views on my channel. Okay. For those 100,000 views that I've had, I'd say less than 10 so far have contacted me about the land. So it just goes to show, a lot of people are watching me. A lot of people are on my channel. They're active. They're in my chat room. They're subscribed to the channel. They're hearing me. I don't know if they're listening to me, but a lot of them are getting exposed to this message. Only 10 was bowed enough to move to the next step and say, oh my goodness, you know what? She's right. I need to do something. You know what I mean? Some of you guys talk about opportunities, but when the opportunity is there, you don't also take it. You know, some of you guys complain about your realities in the West. You complain about what your children are learning in schools, or the violence, or the chemically modified foods, or the racism. You're taking no action whatsoever. You're doing nothing besides hitting the keyboards, maybe going to a protest and being emotional. None of those things is going to change the bottom line. Some of you guys come to the channel, you're like, yeah, Gina, right on. That's right. We don't want them to get an advantage in the continent. But what are you doing to offset it? Hello. You know, you've got to align your words and your beliefs with your actions. That's the only way that you're going to be serious. And that's the only way we can get it popping on this continent. You know what I mean? If you're someone, you don't care about refuge because, hey, you're caught up out there and you just going to be out there, well, that's fine. But to those of you guys that want the African option, you want access to your heritage, you want, you know, your kids to be able to be here, you know, you want your opportunity to own land and this and that. I mean, I would say probably like 99% of the diaspora that's in the West, they don't own any land. You know, I'm sure it's a very small percentage that do. And you guys might have mortgages, you know, on homes on land, but you don't own that. You know, essentially a mortgage is like a rent. You know what I mean? You have to pay for it forever. And even once you pay the mortgage off, the cost of the house, you're subject to property taxes. You know, can you bulldoze that house and do whatever you want to do on that land? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. But I mean, you know, I know in the UK, when you purchase properties, you know, you have all kind of restrictions as to what you can do to that property. They have to maintain a certain, you know, appearance. There's a lot of what we call in the UK terrace housing, which is like the same exact, you know, little storefront kind of houses. And they tell you, even though you have a mortgage and you've bought that property, you can't just make the exterior how you like it. You actually have to go through the council and get changes to your home approved and all this kind of stuff. You see, so the options that you have on the continent, you cannot even parallel them with what you have available to you in the West, in addition to the expense. Obviously, I know there are lands for sale per se in America, you know, land zoned for commercial or agricultural lands. They're going to cost you a fortune out there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, versus you can get a plot here for less than a few $1,000, you know. And if you're going rural, it will be less expensive. And if you're in countries that are not ultra popular right now, it will be less expensive. But all of that will change if we don't take care. You know, we as a people expect people to do right by us just because it's the right thing to do. And historically, nobody ever does anything when it comes to these folks. They don't ever do anything unless it's by force. Okay. And if you take careful analysis, the enemies of the West are all countries that are self-sufficient. Hello. They have military power. Okay. And they're not afraid to set the record straight. And all of those countries, from Russia to China to South Korea to you know, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, all these nations that are willing to stand up for what they belong in, but believe in, and also defend, are the enemies of the West, because that's the only language that the West understands is restriction. You know what I'm saying? Boundaries, parameters. Because if you don't reject them, if you don't put up some type of resistance to them, they just will come in and just take it all over. That's their nature. That's what they do. You know, you want the African option, then you need to be here. Hello, or do something here. Simple. You can't want it from a distance and not facilitate any movements to preserve it. You can't do that. Everything that you want to maintain, you've got to be involved with. You got to pay. You got to invest. You got to cultivate. You know, it's kind of like if you put it into relationship terms, let's just say GBL is my man. Okay. Now let's say GBL is my man and I never see him. We never go on any dates. I never show him any affection. I never call him. I never cook. I never spend the holidays. But I say to myself, GBL, he's in my corner. You know, that's my man. He knows how I feel. Sooner or later, he's going to cheat. He's going to leave me. He's going to get somebody else. It's going to lead to arguments. Because why? Because I'm not an active part of his life. Some of you guys, that's how you treat the continent. You want it as an option. Okay. You want it as, you know, this ethereal, yeah, I'll get to Africa in 10 years. Yeah, I'm when I retire, I'm going to move back home. Yeah, I'm going to, you know, and have no bearings with it at all. Then you're sensitive when other people take it. Okay. So in the example of me and GBL, I pay him no attention. I'm a bad girlfriend. All right. Now, you know what I'm saying? Black Beauty comes in and she's like, GBL, let me cook for you tonight. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was kicking it with the African Superstar. He's like, yeah, that's my girl, but you know what I'm saying? Now I want to get mad and jealous because Black Beauty done came on the scene. But GBL was loyal to me for a long time and I didn't pay him no attention. That's how a lot of us are treating the continent. You feel me? Like, it's been there, the opportunity, especially for African migrants. For you guys, you know, you've known the opportunities at home. Okay? You've had opportunities before it got popular. Those of you from Ghana, I mean, you know, you've had the opportunity. There's no denying that it was there. You didn't take advantage, and now foreigners are coming and you feel some type of way. Well, it's getting expensive for the local people. There's no housing, and these people are doing illegal mining and are doing all this. Of course, you left your country wide open for foreigners to come and do that. So what do you expect? And for other nations and other migrants, be mindful, because this is also going to happen, or may also be happening in your nations as we speak. Okay, when these folks come, it does destabilize the local economy. It makes things more expensive for the local people because supply and demand. You know, so this is my conversation tonight. Shout outs to the family. Frank says Africa is more safe. Diasporans should come. I heard news Mississippi tornado killed about 23 people. We don't see all these natural disasters. Yeah, I've talked about that. You know, the continent currently is free from a lot of this severe weather that America and Europe experiences. You know, extreme earthquakes. I do understand there was a tornado down in Malawi last week and caused some mudslides and stuff. I do understand that in that part of Africa. Mozambique had a cyclone a couple years ago that was quite devastating as well. But it's still, you know, comparing it against the frequency that it happens in the West, it's not even comparable. Here in Ghana, you know, certainly we don't have tornadoes. We do sometimes have little earthquake tremors from what I've heard, but they're not anything massive. You know, most times a lot of people haven't even, you know, it might be just a faint shaking or whatever. But, you know, these extreme hurricanes and volcanoes and all this kind of stuff, it's just rare here. You know, so there's way more benefits to being here. You know, if we really look at it in a comprehensive way. Willie Tapp says some properties in UK, you dare not renovate the roof of your house without approval from the council. It's a fact. Black Beauty says lands are cash deals in the US, so it's basically impossible without the mortgage. We all living off bank and credit. That's another point, because the majority of Americans don't have like a lot of cash. They depend on the mortgage. Even just to get the house, they must get the mortgage and make the monthly payments. They don't have the lump sum of cash to buy these things outright. Okay. And because the cost is so expensive, you know, you might find a land over in America for $250,000, but where are you going to get that money? And as she said, you can't mortgage a land. You know, you can mortgage a house on the land, but for that land, you got to pay cash. You know, and again, I don't know how it would go if you see this house and you say, you know what, look, I want the actual land. I don't just want the house for the mortgage, but I want to own the whole block. I don't know how that goes because I mean, it's uncommon that Americans are in that situation. Many of them are basically renting the house via mortgage. They don't own the house. They've been convinced that it's equity, but it's not. You don't own it. You know, you are paying rent basically until you get to the end of the road. If you get to the end of the road, and again, you still must pay property taxes. If you pay that mortgage and you forfeit them property taxes, they will put a lien on your property and take it back. They've done it many, 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 many times. What's up, family? S.A. Smith says, that is how the housing association works in the U.S. Every external improvement must be approved. So you see, again, you got balls and chains with everything you want to do in these settings. You know, imagine you getting a house for $250,000 or $350,000, and you can't even do with it as you want. You got to consult somebody else making changes on your house or renovating your house or whatever. That's how it works. That's not freedom. That's not ownership. Okay. You are a tenant in that house. They have convinced you that it's an asset, you know, and I believe in the past it would have been an asset because you would buy it low and you would get a higher value. You know, those of us that, you know, you may have had your grandparents or great grandparents, you got grandma's house or whatever. They might have paid $5,000 for that thing, you know, 40 years ago. Now the property value of it is $100,000. You know, that's the profit margin, you know, but these cheap houses that they are manufacturing nowadays in America, they look grand, but they're not made well and they're cheaply made. And by the time, is that property value going to escalate? You know, a lot of people even owe more on their house than it's worth currently. Shout out to S.A. Smith. What's up, Brown Coat Blue? Yes. Shoshana is in the building. Yes. Just Juanita says, sadly, many don't even realize that this equity that they pull out and refinance is nothing more than selling your own home to yourself. Shoshana said, my husband designed and built our house according to our taste, 0 property taxes in Uganda. And again, this is the, you know, you can customize your house whatever you want to make it. However you want to make it here on the continent. That's what you can get it Burger King your way. You know, so shout outs to the family. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This is my message. You know, if we want our continent to remain our refuge and our place of sanctuary, we've got to put it, you know, we've got to protect it and make sure that it remains that way. And like I said, it would be my wish that in all African nations, the indigenous population is those that are the majority rule and majority in control. You know, realistically, I shouldn't be able to come here and get that advantage over a local Ghanaian. It's not right. You know what I mean? And in other words, in your own homeland, that's self-preservation. Okay, making sure that your people do not lose their presence, do not lose their tradition. You know, certainly these other folks, when they come in here, they'll be bringing their way of life in. And contrary to popular belief, okay, there's no gray area for many things. There's black and white. In many areas, it's either us or them. Okay, all this like integration and diversity is a lie. We can't coexist with them. We have to exert our own as the primary thing. That's it. Or else it will fail to exist. Simple as that. If we don't protect Ghana, we don't protect Nigeria, we don't protect Kenya, you know, Gambia, Senegal, wherever you're heading on a continent, Uganda, if we don't protect that and make sure that our people always have a place and belonging there, trust me, these foreigners will eradicate our presence. They will absolutely do it. They have done it before. They're known for it. It's a fact. So that's tonight's message, something for you to think about. Big shout outs to everybody who came here. We had over 40 of you guys, so I hope the likes are up because I haven't seen no like counts. Hello. And again, please, if you guys are interested in the land out at Shy Hills, I've done a couple videos so far. Please make sure you reach out and I will get you linked up. What's up, NC? If I see you there, big shout out to you. It's been a minute. You good? Hope you good. All right, family. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday evening. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.
Imagine you are a rising music star, and you decide to make a music video about your ex's lies. Well, I did.
It really racks my mind when I think about how I used to look in your eyes.
Official
Saw
music
love,
video
saw
in
passion, and other lies. Can you imagine? You told me such sweet things, and I trusted your words, intent and everything.
African Superstar.
Now we have become strangers, and nothing could be stranger.
Yes, guys, that is my track Liar 2022. I have an official music video for that track here on YouTube. And that track is also on my recent EP, For Every Action There's a Reaction. So make sure you guys check out the music video. Make sure you add me to your streams. Make sure you purchase my EP. And see, if you missed the last call-in I did a call-in like last week. So I did a call-in about the cons of America, I believe. Some of the cons of America was the topic. Perhaps we'll have another one upcoming next week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay? All right, family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.